Hi, welcome to Traxxas RC. This video is about tools, but top tips. Everyone's done loads of videos about tools. I can do that all day long, but this is a few little top tips that I've learned along the way, and as I do use more and more things become easier. So a couple of top tips. First one then, nuts. Okay, so a lot of people tend to have a lot of nuts boxes and things like this. So there's a couple of different things you can do with nuts and screws and Allen key heads and fasteners. Okay, so you can buy a pre-built box like this. So TRX4 Traxxas S1, really good set. They tend to put a bit more work in, so you've got a ruler on the bottom there. You've got all the different product codes of the different nuts. So if you lose one or you're running out of some, you can always order the same amount again or the same variant again. The other thing that Traxxas do is they add on some of their fasteners, if you can see that, a little bit of blue. Okay, so that's patch lock. So patch lock is like a thread lock, which we'll come on to later. So to prevent the screw itself vibrating loose and working loose. Okay, so very good. They do go a little bit further. Okay, with their screws, and you know that they're good quality because they're all over your car anyway. If you use Traxxas, so every car brand does the same thing. So the HPI one looks very similar to this. The Axial ones look very similar to this. You can buy all these boxes pre-made. They tend to come at a cost. This one's about 15-20 quid. Some of them 40-50 pounds. You can make your own. So you can buy the little hobby boxes online, interchangeable dividers inside, and you can just scour the places like B&Q, hobby shops. You can also go to Halfords, any car places like that. And you can find all these little fasteners online really, really cheap. Fill your box, good to go. Okay, just might not get the same quality. The other thing is that if you like Savox servos, you use a few Savox servos, they provide you with a really good case. So this case I've been using for quite a while now. Again, this has got multiple different types of screw head and different screws now I can either cut down or I can use. All bought online. Little clips as well. Body clips can be quite expensive from some places. You can buy these little push pins and little clips like that for a lot less money. So yeah, Savox boxers really, really good. They close well. Really strong boxers, so recommend using that. Next thing then, you need to put the fasteners on the car, don't you? So the next thing I use is a battery tool. So this battery tool here is a Bosch electric screwdriver tool with a head on, with a hex head on. So these little hex heads, got a plethora of hex heads here. So I've got ball hex heads. If you can see the ball on it there, it's quite a large one, clearly not for this car, but bought it in a pack. So the ball hex heads are really good for getting in different areas. So if you can't quite get the angle on something, you can come in at a different angle and you can get them off. But they're being that small, sort of 4 or 5 mil, they tend to round off quite quickly. So I just bought a job lot of generic hex heads, sadly from China. Buy a pack of 5 of them for 5 or 6 quid. Delivered. They're great, interchangeable, brilliant bit of kit. So I fully recommend using an electric screwdriver. A lot of electric screwdrivers don't have a torque setting on there. This one does. So this one charges by USB, no plugs needed. You can see on the bottom there it's got a 1, so that's 1 to 5 torque setting. So you can prevent stripping threads. This one doesn't have a trigger, as you can see. It's just a push to use. You push one way, select the setting you want, forwards or backwards, push the other way. And you notice as you let go there, stop applying the pressure, it will stop. So great little tool. Because of the size it is, it fits into my bag to go out when I take the cars out. Great. So I thoroughly recommend them. Next thing then, I use another adapter there for a wheel nut. So that's a 7mm deep thin wall socket there for taking wheel nuts off the cars. Let's give you a quick idea of what that's like. Put it back on the car then. And that's generally how tight I want the nut on the car without rounding it off. Fantastic bit of kit, brilliant to take around with you everywhere you go. So next one then, once you've taken the fasteners off the car, you need somewhere to put them. So I have in the past taken one of these with me out, but I don't tend to. So you can get these really, really cheap again offline. Magnetic tool tray, brilliant for putting like I've got a few on there from the other car that's partially stripped down at the minute. fantastic. There's nothing worse than having a desk full of, or a garage or a table or whatever you can use working your cars on, full of screws, and then you move something and you'll fly across the floor, and they're always small screws. Thoroughly recommend getting one of them. Okay, next thing then, looks very odd. We ever make one of these. It's basically a magnetizer and demagnetizer. So, a company called Weira make one of these. They look like that. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. To show what it's like, I've got this Beta Allen key here. So, as you can see, it's not magnetic. Nothing worse than having a tool that isn't magnetic that you think really should be with things like this. So the magnetizer works by you placing it on there, dragging it a few times, hey presto, magnetised. Okay, so that's fantastic. So I thoroughly recommend that. That is a £5 at the minute, I think, from Screwfix. So you can magnetise screwdrivers with it, hex heads, everything. Brilliant bit of kit. Thoroughly recommend it. Also, we ever make some good screwdrivers. If they want to sponsor me, please do. But yeah, so their screwdrivers, you might be able to see, they've got like a weird head on them. It's like a laser etched head. So on their screwdrivers, they etch the tip of the head out of the posi or the Phillips head. So it's etched, so it gives it more purchase on screws. Now I know a lot of cars like that one doesn't have a lot of screws on it, but it's a really good thing to invest in, a good set of screwdrivers to prevent you rounding them off. Or for screws that are rounded off, you can just undo it quite easily. So brilliant. Okay, next thing then, grease. So a lot of people, I'll show you now, a lot of people go and buy the really expensive grease. So this is differential lube, silicone differential lube, okay? So HPI, that's like 13 quid for this little tiny pot of differential lube. Complete waste of time. Loads of people spend lots and lots of money on there. Ever since I've been using, or going to RC cars, or stripping them down, rebuilding them, I've been using multi-purpose grease. So this is just a pot. The top tip is to buy a big pot. Car Lube sells something called LM2, which is a multi-purpose bearing grease that's used for all automotive manufacturing. It's a fantastic bit of grease. Put it in a smaller pot, take it out with you, or even when these little pots are used up, put a dab in that pot, jobs are good one. So I thoroughly recommend just using bearing grease, just using bog standard normal grease. Does exactly what it says in the tin, okay? You don't need all the expensive, really expensive stuff. Next thing then, Loctite or thread lock, okay? Can be used in conjunction with a lot of different things. So you've got nut lock, you've got thread lock, both used for different applications. Okay, the nut lock tends to be a lot harder once cured. You should only put it on nuts. Okay, so as you're taking the nut off or unscrewing the nut, it should just pop the nut nice and easily. So thread lock, like this one here, put a little dab on the threads. Don't coat the threads, don't cover them, don't dip them in it. Just a little dab on the threads. So what I'm talking about is you want to use a little dob like that. Little tiny amount, and if you need to, just take a little bit off, just so it's just covered. Don't cover the whole thread like that, because it'll be almost permanently attached. Okay, so just bear that in mind. But goes without saying, you can get this from loads of places. Loctite, fantastic bit of kit. The next thing then, apart from a stand to put your car on, okay, so this very important one. That's a pointer. You've all got receiver trays, you've all got receiver boxes and things that, now a lot of people use different things to secure these or to prevent water ingress, okay. Now they do have a little bit of foam on the back there, which tends to sort of not do a great deal once you put it on a few times and take it off a few times, because you can see the different lines with the impressions that's made on there. It doesn't become waterproof anymore. So I used to use a dab of silicone. I used to get some small silicone tubes, which I've got here actually as well, which I've not used in a long time. Nice little run of silicone there. Put that back on, waterproof, great, sealed. But then next time you take it off, it's not waterproof again because you've pulled the silicone off. So now what I use, might be counterproductive, you might see, that's a bit weird, Vaseline. Vaseline's great for things like this. So you basically take an amount on your finger, cover that whole area there, push it through the little wires, jobs are good, and then pop that back on. That waterproofs the area, waterproofs the battery box. Once it's screwed on nice and easy, fantastic. and you can rub it into your hands, no damage caused. The other thing then is it doesn't cause any damage to connectors or anything like that, or any electrical connections. When you come to taking the battery box off, you can just wipe it all off, nice and clean. Nothing really tends to stick to it that much. And if you've got this one here, cocoa butter, it smells quite nice. But yeah, little pot like that, fantastic. The other Traxxas ones have got a little rubber seal. Put a little bit on the bottom of the box, put the seal in, a little bit on top of the head of the box, put it back on, waterproof. So if you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. If you don't like it, please be honest, give us a thumbs down. But please subscribe so we can share more content readily with you. We tend to put up quite a few videos. But more importantly, if you've got any tips or if you've got any comments yourself, please put them in the comments box so that we can see exactly what other people are doing out there. We're also on Facebook, so please look at Traxxas RC. Thanks very much. Cheers.